Okay, goal here is 5 miles. It's about 32 degrees out. That's kind of what we're looking at, just some grasslands here. So 5 miles one way, 5 miles back, 10 miles. Hike for about 2 hours, break for lunch, set up the little emergency shelter, hike for 2 hours back. That's kind of my goal here. Just kind of what it looks like. Pretty flat terrain, but there are some hills, so it depends on how the trail goes. Got everything in my pack, about 27 pounds fully loaded, no sleeping bag. Other than that, I pretty much have all my gear with me. Alright, 5 miles, stopping for lunch. There's my pack, all packed up. About not quite 2 hours. So 5 miles there, 5 miles back. It's about 38 degrees, no wind here, so I'm out of the, out of the prairie, so to speak, or out of the grasslands. So we'll set up, make our little lunch, and then, so as I mentioned on the kind of first video of doing the kit review, what I did is take this all-weather blanket, made a little pocket in the end there. So there's my little pocket, just duct taped it like a paper airplane, basically. Part of a paper, how you make a paper airplane, just fold the two ends over with 45-degree angles. And there's a little pocket in there, right? So inside that event waterproof fabric stuff sack are my down booties and my down vest. So even though it's about 38 degrees, when I stop walking, I've of course been sweating. I made a decision to wear my hiking boots and not my snowpack boots. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to possibly change my socks, but for sure I'm going to take my boots off and put my down booties on and stick them in that little pocket there, and that'll keep me warm, while my feet warm while I am making lunch. And then this is the down, and I'll put on the down vest. So the down vest and the down booties are all compressed. We are kind of wrapped up in my bivvy there. I can put the sides up and put my gear on there. So got my boots over there, kind of close to the stove. Maybe I'll keep them a little warm. But there's the Esbit stove. Had the first little mishap, which is I put the stove on the frozen ground, and as the Esbit stove melted, of course, they're not the most stable device. It tipped the water, so I lost about a cup of water. So no big deal. Put some more water in there. I could melt some snow if I really needed to, because there's snow all over, as you see. So I got the Esbit stove there. I can fuel that with a little bit of twigs if I want to, but I have Esbit tabs. On the lunch menu is Tootsie Rolls, some sharp cheddar cheese, teriyaki beef jerky, and these instant Idahoan potatoes. No MSG in those, but there is a little bit of salt. Of course there's salt in the jerky, so quite a bit of sodium content, but that'll be a good lunch. It's nice out. Again, it's cold. It's probably about 35 degrees. I think it's under 40. I really felt it until I sat down, when I sat down, until I put on that down vest. I mean, I was getting cold right away. That sweat starts getting cold when you stop walking. And the other thing is, I put down my little ground cloth here and sat down, and that ground is cold. And then I remembered, of course, my little sit pad. So there's my whole setup. That's what the potatoes are going to go in. I got my stainless steel cup there, and then there's a tea bag around here, floating around here somewhere. So, oh, there we go, oolong tea. So here I am out using my gear. I really like this little situation here with my down booties and this little bivy sack. This works well for a little day trip. Of course, if I was going to do an overnighter, I'd put up the canvas tarp, which I have on the back of me here. So I just got that against a tree, so it's kind of a windbreak, even though there's really not any wind coming. But it's, we're working good here. We'll get that 2 cups of water. We don't need to get that 2 cups of water boiling, just hot. Put it in the little Tupperware container in the pot cozy, let it sit a couple of minutes. Put a little cheese in there, slice some cheese up, a little cayenne pepper. We'll be all set. Okay, little update. Sitting here about 8 minutes, and the Esbit tabs burned out. I used 3/4 of an Esbit tab, and usually that gets that water just about so it's bubbles are starting to appear on the top in 8 minutes when I try it at home. Of course, out here it's 35, 38 degrees out, so everything's colder, and it's going to take longer to get the water hot. So all I did was start adding some twigs. Now, one of the things I do when I add twigs is I'm just sitting here, grabbing stuff that's around me. Maybe somewhat dry, and I take it and I just, with my knife, I strip off the bark, so I'm right down to the dry wood. That bark retains a lot of moisture, creates a lot of smoke. So all I'm doing is just you know, taking my Opinol number 8, and which is easy to keep sharp, and make some twigs, and takes a little longer this way, but no big deal. Okay, there's my lunch. One of the things I find that if I don't pre-package my meals, or I'm not using, you know, Mountain House meals, which I don't really use that often because of the cost, it's easy to take an 8-ounce block of cheese like that, which is half a pound, and almost eat the whole thing in one sitting. So what I'll do is cut it up and put it in my little plate here, which is just a nesting pan from a zebra pot, 10 centimeter zebra pot. So I got my beef jerky in there, I got my cheese, I got my Tootsie Rolls, there's my potatoes over there, and there's my tea. The other thing is, when you're making your own meals like this, depending on how much time you spend preparing them, you want to make sure you get enough calories. You know, it's cold. Of course, this is just a lunch. Could be a supper. Suppers, I try and get, you know, a good 700 calories. Lunches, about, you know, 500, and then breakfasts, hopefully 500. You know, probably not that much, more like 300. And then, of course, you got your snacking, you know, granola and nuts and candy and all that kind of stuff. So you need, you know, when you're expending energy like this, you know, good 2,000 calories a day. So there's lunch: tea, potatoes, beef jerky, cheese, and Tootsie Rolls. And that's pretty healthy. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there as far as some vitamins. And, you know, I'm fortunate I can have things like fresh cheese and have beef jerky.